try to apply what we learned on both in a little bit different way. We're going to have to be creating some equations, be solving a little bit more, and doing a little bit more than we did Friday. So let's just quickly remind ourselves, segment addition postulate tells us that any two or more, so it can be more than two, any two or more parts of a segment will always add to equal the whole thing. So that should be pretty intuitive. Any parts, you're just going to add them all together and it has to equal the whole. So if you do know the whole and a part, you could find the missing part. You can work with it lots of different ways. So on this one, that big line across the top saying 24 is showing the whole thing is 24. This time we've got 3 pieces. 2 of them are 6. We got to find the middle one. Tessa, what could we do to find that middle piece, ST? Good. Add the 2 little ones and then subtract it from the whole. Yeah, so no matter how many pieces there are, you can always add what you know, subtract from the whole. How long is ST then? Everybody tell me. 12, whatever, inches, centimeters, whatever it might be. Good, so we can have more than 2 pieces that we're working with. Okay, in the figure below, B is in between A and C. C is between B and D. Now they're going to give us some measurements. A great idea is going to be to label where these are. So we've got from B to D. From B to D is 6. From A to C is 9. And BC is 2. So this little portion right there is 2. And we need to find all the way from A to D. Is that just 9 plus 6? No. How come? It overlaps. Yeah, we've got, it overlaps by how much? 2. So subtract it. Yeah, what is 9 and 6? 15. Take off the 2 that they have in common. How long is it really from A to D? 13. Now there's a ton of ways you could have thought about that. Does somebody think about it differently? Anybody think of it differently? When I first went through it, I thought, okay, well, if this is 2 and from B to D is 6, I knew this much would be 4. And then I kind of took off my 2 and added 9 to 4. So there's tons of ways you can think about it, tons of ways you can get there, but the diagram is going to be super helpful to make sure you know exactly what parts you're looking at and what pieces actually are involved. Any questions on that kind? Okay, this one, we know the whole thing is 11, the 2 pieces are given, so here we're going to have to create an equation. We know that the segment addition postulate says you can add the 2 pieces and equal the whole. So that's what we're going to have to do to be able to figure out the length of IH. Now you could write them, because you can write them separately to create your equation and then combine your like terms. But if you're fine, let's combine the like terms first. What do we get if we combine our x's? 3x, good. How about everybody tell me on the numbers what are we going to get? -1. So that can simplify it. You can combine your like terms as you're adding. You can write them separate if you want to, but you can also combine them. All right, Bailey, tell us how to solve this. Add 1, divide that 3. How long is x? X is 4, but they want us to find the length of IH. So all you're going to have to do is come back over here, plug in 4. How long is IH? 7. Good. So we'll be making equations today to help us figure out some lengths. Okay, this one we want to find the length of JL. So same thing. We're going to add the pieces to equal the total. Let's combine the like terms on the pieces. We just have the x, but let's combine the numbers. What do we get? 14 is going to equal the whole part. So here we've got variables on both sides. It's been a little while since we worked with equations, but remember, if you move the variables to one side, you can move the numbers to the other side in the same movement. Just do the opposite to move it over there. Minus your x to the 6x, and then we have to add 1 to the number. You can do that at the same time. Guys, what's 14 and 1? 15. How about 6x minus x? 5x. If we divide by 5, what's our value of x? 3. we need to find the length of JL. So the whole shebang. You can do a couple things. You could plug it in here and add it, or you could plug it in down here because that is showing the full amount. Let's just go ahead and plug it in there. What is 6 times 3? 18 minus 1. How long is JL? 17. 17. Questions so far? Nothing too crazy. Okay, this one we don't have a diagram, so I really suggest drawing one. So they tell us that points A, B, and C are collinear. What does collinear mean? Same line. Okay, so they're on the same line, and point B is somewhere between A and C. We don't know where for sure, but just draw a diagram. And then let's label what they're telling us. From A to B is x plus 16. From B to C is 2x plus 22, and then AC is 8. So I would just quickly draw a diagram. It takes a second, and then you know for sure what you're dealing with and how you can create your equation. So we've got two pieces. We know the whole. Let's combine them. What do we get on the two pieces if we add the x's? Good, 3x. How about the numbers, 22 and 16? 38, and it's going to equal 8. And it's just a matter of simple solving. Gavin, what do you do first? Good, minus that 38. 8 minus 38, what does that give us? Negative 3. Divide your 3. X is how much? Negative 10. And our job is to find the length of BC. So just come back to BC and plug it in. 2 times that negative 10. What is 2 times negative 10? Negative 20 plus 22, how long is BC? BC is 2. Good. Good. Okay, so segment addition. Sometimes we gotta draw the diagram. We also worked with angle addition. It's the same idea. Any 2 or more parts of an angle will always add to equal the whole. So no matter how many parts it has, you can add them all up and it will equal the whole angle. Here we've got a figure. Angle 1 is 32, let's throw that in there. Angle 2 is 39. Our job is to find the measure of angle WXZ, so the whole thing. So just combine them. What would be the measure of angle WXZ? 71. Yeah, I was going to say 60. Yes, 71. You heard that better. 71. Yep, just add them together and you can find the whole measure of angle WXZ. Here we've got 3 angles creating a whole one, so we want to fill in what we know. The measure of angle EBD is 26 degrees. Segment BC bisects angle ABD. What does it mean to bisect it? Splits it in half, but we got to be careful what we're looking at. So we're looking at segment BC. It's splitting angle ABD, so the whole thing. So we've got this piece the same size as that whole piece from CBD. ABC and CBD are going to be the same because BC cuts it in half. But also, BE bisects angle CBD, the one on the right. And all we know right now is angle EBD is 26. All right, Joey, what else can we do right now? What else do we know? Yeah, CBE has to also be 26 if BE bisects. Good. Okay. And what are we even finding? Oh, we're finding the measure of angle ABC. So this guy right here. How can we find him? Yeah, it's the same size as these two together. Yes, 26 and 26 is how much? 52 degrees. Good. Any questions on that one? Everybody feel good about it? Okay. Bisecting, it's going to cut it right in half, making 2 equal pieces. All right, given the measure of angle LKN, so the whole thing, LKN is 145, and then we've got the 2 other angles labeled already, and we need to find the measure of both of them. So we got to create our equation. Again, when we're adding 2 or more, you can just combine the like terms. Because what do we get if we add those x's up? How many? Good, 6x plus what? 7 equals the full angle at 145. Then just solve like we've been doing, minus the 7. Someone tell me 145 minus 7. 138 divides your 6. What's our x? 23. 23. Then just come back over and plug them in to find each measure. 2 times 23. What is 2 times 23? 46 plus 10. Angle LKM is how big? 56. Then you have 2 options. Joy, what could we do to find, not Joy, sorry, Jace, look at it. What could I do? Give me one option to find this other angle. Yeah, we know the total, 145, we could just now subtract 56. What would that give us? 89? 89 degrees, okay. Kate, what would be another option to find it, the 89? Just plug in x, yeah. Yeah, so that's your choice at that point. We could do 4 times 23. Did anybody do that? Did we get 89? 4 times 23, 80, 92 minus 3, yeah, it worked. So there we go. So adding the 2 angles, same idea. Okay, find the measure of BCM, angle BCM, if angle BCD is x plus 157. So the full angle, you can put it wherever you want it. I always just put it on the outside to leave room on the inside for the other ones, but you get to choose. BCM, angle BCM is 2x plus 106, and angle MCD is 51. So all we have to do is add the 2 pieces. Let's combine the like terms as we write it. We've got just the 2x. How about 51 and 106? 157? Yeah, equals the x plus, did I? Yep. Oh, that is the 157. X plus 157. Okay, so when you have variables on both sides, it's totally fine to move the variables one way and the numbers the other way. You can do that. Just do the opposite when you're moving things across the equal sign. So 2x minus x is just x. 157 minus 157, 0. It's okay for x to be 0 because it's just a part of the expression making your angle. The angle's not 0. So we just have to plug it in. What are we supposed to find? BCM? Come over to BCM and plug it in. How big is BCM? 106. Yep. 106 plus 51 is 157. Good. Okay, questions on that one? Going good? Okay. Measure of angle CDE is 173, so the whole thing is 173. Angle CDL is x plus 54. Angle LDE is x plus 135. Find the measure of angle CDL. So add the 2 together. Let's get those x's together. Someone getting 135 and 54. 189. And then they all seem to solve similar. We're either moving variables and numbers or just solving. 173 minus 189, what do we get? 62? Oh, 16. 16, divide your 2, so we've got our x is negative 8, and we are finding angle CDL. So just plug it in. Negative 8 plus 54, 36 degrees. Thank you. 36 degrees. Good, good. So not too tricky today. Okay, so I would for sure fill in the diagrams. There's a couple